Breast culture explores different perspectives on how breasts are perceived in society.
By both women and men.
Breast culture is buying your first bra.
Breast culture is performing a self-breast exam every month.
Breast culture is low-cut tops.
Breast culture is the lack of eye contact in a conversation.
Breast culture is choosing to swim nude at the beach.
Breast culture is tipping your server extra for her low-cut outfit.
Breast culture is flipping through erotic magazines.
Breast culture is providing milk to a newborn baby.
Breast culture is your mom,
sister,
cousin,
boyfriend, and neighbor.
Breast culture is not one opinion over another.
We do live in this kind of breast culture that perpetuates this idea that women are better women with bigger boobs and smaller waists. And so if you've got a small waist and little boobs, not as many people are going to look at you. But if you've got small waist and big boobs, boy, watch out. You're not going to be able to be left alone. I was, 28 when I decided to get breast implants. I spent about 2 years trying to decide whether to get them or not. And I was a fitness competitor at the time and competitive bodybuilder. And so I reached a certain point where I lost all my boobs. So I decided that it was time to start looking. And if I was going to keep competing, I needed to get them, and I knew that because that environment kind of requires it. Then I got them on Christmas Eve of 2003. I thought I was going to carry that reaction with me after I got them. So I got them, and I was a personal trainer at the time. And so when I went back to work in the gym, of course, everybody noticed immediately, and everybody was talking about me behind my back. And I think that really kind of solidified how I felt myself, because instead of being kind of proud and walking upright and whatnot, I walked around with my arms crossed over my body all the time, hunched over. My posture actually changed over the years since I've gotten them. They are very uncomfortable. I don't like the way they look. I don't like the way they feel. But at this point in my life, I want to be back to that size A, B-ish. And I have no problem being flat as a board. I would not care.
Somebody who's not familiar with burlesque, they might think that it's a strip show and that it's about titties and kind of more crass and brash. Whereas if you actually go to a true, good old-fashioned, down-to-earth burlesque show, you're going to see every shape, size. You're going to see uneven, you're going to see big areolas, little ones, crooked ones, round, long, every kind of breast imaginable.
It's what women show, it's what men expect to see.
Boobs are celebrated in burlesque. Boobs are great. I see so many boobs of all shapes and sizes.
It's the combination of the root of what the breast is there for functionally, and that bonus of what the breast can be there for playfully.
They set us apart from men.
And the way that we emphasize, our breasts, and we put them out there. We put up on display in your face. I'm in my underwear, basically, just really glitzy underwear.
I want to breastfeed as long as possible, full time, and then go to part time. And I don't know. I breastfed Wyatt for. My son I breastfed for 6 months full time, and then I stopped pumping at work, and then I'm right here. And then I breastfed part-time in the mornings and the evenings and at night till he was about 10 months or so. My mom, if anything, finds this whole thing very interesting, and she's now so used to it because she's my second, so, but yeah. My parents are totally comfortable. I can, breastfeed in front of my mom and my dad, and it's no big deal. I feel like I've breastfed everywhere. On a plane, which is the best. Your baby sleeps the whole time, I swear to God. That's like the secret of like little babies, is like, you breastfeed, you can take a kid on a plane, I swear it. I've breastfed at the side of the street, sitting down on the curb, the St. Patty's Day parade while it was going by, I was breastfeeding. Wherever. As long as I think you can find literally a place to sit down. I don't think there's been a place where I've been like, oh, I need to leave because I need to breastfeed. There's never been a place where I've said I need to go in my car and I need to go breastfeed because I don't feel comfortable here. You do it. And I think, women that breastfeed, I mean, I was very comfortable breastfeeding Wyatt, my first son. And then with the second baby, it's like, you don't even think about it. It's just like, where are we? I have a lot of friends that breastfed their kids past 2, 2.5, and I couldn't do it just because I'm kind of selfish. I was like, I need a night off with my husband, I need a night off with my girlfriends, I was just done. But a lot of people, they just want to continue doing it. And again, there's amazing health benefits from breast milk, so go for it. Right now, it is a necessary means to food for this child. But when I'm not pregnant or breastfeeding, boobs are part of your sexual anatomy without a question.
It's 2005, and I'm standing at the start line of Susan G. Komen's Race for a Cure. At this point in my life, I have survived 2 rounds of cancer, and I have exactly no breasts.
In 1992, when I was 21 years old, I was diagnosed with breast cancer for the first time. And then second time I was diagnosed with another primary breast cancer was in 2002.
As soon as the announcer yells, "Runners, go!" I'm going to take off my shirt, exposing 2 mastectomy scars, and run.
I didn't think about getting a mastectomy as the removal of a breast and what that would mean in the aftermath. I thought of it more as a way to save my life, and the doctors told me that was what I needed to do to save my life, so I did it. It's not about the boobies or saving the boobies. Who gives a shit about the boobies? What about the woman who may die as a result of keeping the boobies because the man likes the boobies? I mean, in all seriousness, I think that the focus of saving the tatas and da-da-da, I mean, ultimately, if you're raising money for an organization that actually helps with, women and men who have breast cancer getting car rides to chemotherapy treatments like the American Cancer Society does, or if you're shedding some new light or research on this, that's great. But I think focusing on the breasts is the wrong focus.
Runners, go! And we're off. And by we, I mean me, my shirt, and 50,000 people. And soon people are noticing my scars, looking at me in a loving way, a respectful way, a slightly confused way. But they're looking. They're not scared of my scars. I'm not scared of my scars.
Second time I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I just moved from San Francisco, and it was interesting enough because that was a period of time where a lot of women who actually felt like they were born into the wrong body and identified as transsexual and were going to get top surgery would have these wild parties, like these fun parties, like I'm going to get my top surgery. And I simultaneously was crying and lamenting the fact that I was going to have my breasts removed. So I just think that it's interesting in the larger culture how we read based on what parts we have and what we don't have, and how we're regarded by others and our gender. And so when missing boobies doesn't make me feel less than a woman. I feel more like a lady. Breast culture is how one chooses to view and think about the female body.